Good morning. I hope everybody is well. It's a dreadful day weather-wise in Cornwall. Last night we had the most awful torrential rain. It was something else, but my garden was desperate for some water, so it has done some good. And it's a funny thing that good can come out of bad. If it wasn't for lockdown and me starting to do some pop-up videos and sharing my antique samplers, I would never have shown you the sampler that Jane Harth stitched in 1868. I bought that sampler for me, purely for my own enjoyment. I never had any intentions of stitching her. I just wanted to enjoy the happiness and the brightness and sunshine that was in her sampler. I just loved her oversized vase and the back of her sampler. When I actually bought the sampler, there was a picture of the back of the sampler, and I just thought it was so joyous. Anyway, because of lockdown, I showed you the antique sampler, and the response was so overwhelming that other people would like to stitch her and stitch her with the colours from the back. Well, here she is. She's finished and she's framed. She is joyous. Those colours are fabulous. They really, really are. There are some colours in here that I have never stitched with before, particularly the purple and that really strong mauve. Really, really lovely colours. The eye goes to the vase and the tulip and the carnations, but there's so many other things to see in her sampler as well. I love the hearts pierced with Cupid's arrow. The butterflies are exquisite, and somehow the way she's placed the colours, those butterflies seem to hover over the surface of the fabric. She's really delightful. Before I forget, when you come to stitch her, you need to be careful. I think it's this one or this one, there's a different count on the base that the strawberry comes off, but I've marked that in the chart for you. I got it wrong on here when I stitched her. So let me tell you a little bit more about Jane. She's a good size. Her stitch count is 173 stitches by 255 stitches. So if you were stitching her on 28 count linen, she would be 12.36 inches by 18.21. If you were stitching her on 36 count linen, which would be 18 count Ada, she would be 9.61 inches by 14.17. And if you were stitching her on 56 count linen, she would be 6.18 by 9.11 inches. She's entirely stitched with cross stitch over 2, so she's suitable for Ada or for linen, and she's suitable for needleworkers of all levels of ability, whether you're starting off or whether you're an advanced needleworker with walls filled with completed samplers. This little sampler is really going to glow on your sampler wall. She's just so alive. Now, I stitched her with Auvert Soir 103, and I used 19 different colours. In the download you have the Thread Legend 4103 and the Dalgé and DMC, so you have lots of options. Her download is £10. She should be more, but we want to keep these affordable for as many people as possible. We know that times are hard. Times have been tough for most people in this time of lockdown, and there's a lot of uncertainty going forward. So we are trying to keep the cost of these productions down as much as possible. So what do you get for your £10? Well, you get 2 graphs, you get a 12-page colour chart, and her chart is just as colourful as her sampler itself. And you also get a 12-page black and white symbol chart as well. So the best thing to do is when you purchase the download and you receive your email with the download link, save it to your computer or your tablet or your phone, and then when you go to print, select what you would like to print. She comes with a front cover and a short story, just over a page long, and she comes with a comprehensive thread legend as well. So there are 5 pages that are in addition to the graph that you will want to download. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Not really. Just be careful on this one strawberry about your counting, but I have marked that on the graph so that you don't miss it, as I missed it when I was stitching the model. When I sit down to chart a model, I always count around the border, making notes about any anomalies, and it was so silly of me. I had obviously picked up that difference when I was charting her, charted her correctly, and then I just stitched along and missed those 2 extra stitches. I was talking, I was doing a internet stitch along that evening, and I was probably laughing too much to concentrate properly. Anyway, she's available now from our website or from selected needlework stores. These downloads are available for stores to retail, and they just need to contact me about having access to the downloads. I have another little bit of news, and it's about the Jane Fiddis Stitch Along. And there's 2 little bits of news about the stitch along. We've got a little helper in this video. The first one is that we have set up a mentorship scheme in the stitch along, and what that means is that we are pairing up experienced needleworkers with needleworkers who are beginning or are a little bit unsure about stitching a sampler. So if you're in the stitch along and you would like to offer your services, oh Bertie, darling, go over there, that's right, you just settle down, he's a good boy, Mummy won't be long. So if you would like to offer your services as an experienced needleworker, please let us know. And also, if you would like somebody to be paired up with so that they can help you and give you confidence to stitch Jane, please let us know as well. Mentorship programs can work very, very well and be very rewarding, not only for the person who is learning, but for the person who is sharing their experiences as well. Now, the other little bit of news about the Jane Fiddis Stitch Along is that the people who have joined know, I know, he wants his lunch. You sit down and Mummy won't be long. You sit down, you sit. Go on then, sit down. He's a good boy. Now give me a few little, just give me a few little minutes. This is the giveaway prize at the end of the Stitch Along year. Everybody who finishes Jane will have their name put into a drawer, and one person will win this sampler, which is a very sweet little primer. No, darling. I knew this wasn't a good idea letting him in, but he desperately wanted to be with me. And I didn't have the heart to shut him out. Anyway, that little sampler inspired me to stitch a primer myself. So this is my sampler based on this sampler. It's not a reproduction, it's my version of a primer. I took this as my needlework teacher's example and I interpreted it into this little primer. Now I don't know what to call this little sampler, so if you would like to put some suggestions on this video, I would be very interested in your suggestions for a title for this little sampler. But what I've done, I have a PDF download available for this version and a version that's stitched on Ada. I had to do a separate version for Ada because on this sampler, some of the placement of the stitches across here are not suitable for Ada. So the download contains the chart for this version and the Ada version, and the chart also includes some graph paper and the font in capitals and in lower case, so that you can add your name and the date that you stitch this little primer. And this download is available completely free of charge for those people who are participating in our stitch along. The little chart will be available from the 4th of July through to the 4th of July in 2021. So it doesn't matter when you join up, you will be able to have access to this download, which is exclusive for members of the Jane Fiddis Stitch Along. I better go and give that little boy his lunch. I shouldn't have let him in, but there we are. I'm sorry if it's distracted from the video, which is to let you know about this little free download, the mentorship programme on the Jane Fiddis Stitch Along, and the fact that the Jane Harth sampler is now available for purchase on our website as a PDF download and from your needlework store. Anyway, you know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, stay well, and until the next time, bye-zy bye.